Good afternoon. My name is Mary Schroeder. I am now a senior judge at the United States Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit, former chief judge, and it is my honor to welcome you to this historic building in a historic courtroom for the presentation of a very historic program. The story of segregation in the West is not very well known, but segregation was pervasive. And it was not only aimed at African Americans, but aimed directly at Mexican Americans and Asian Americans as well. I first learned personally about the effects of segregation when I was studying the life of my late beloved colleague, Thomas Tang from Phoenix. And he told me the story of growing up in Phoenix, that as a Chinese American, he was not black, so we went to the white high school. But as a Chinese American, he was not white, so he couldn't swim in the municipal swimming pool. And I've long thought that the history of segregation and the monumental efforts that were made to desegregate in the West deserved a lot more attention.
Okay, I'm the son of Gonzalo and Felicitas Mendez, and their involvement in the case began when an aunt of ours took us down to enroll us in a school that was closer to a farm we had. My dad had leased from a Japanese family that had been interned, the Minimitsu family. So while we were leasing that farm, the closest school was the Westminster School. And my dad had gone to that school before, but between the time he went to school and it was time for me to go to school, they built another school in what we call the barrio. And then they segregated the Mexicans from the whites. So when my aunt took us down to enroll us, they told her she could keep her 2 children there, but not my dad's 3, which was us, because her 2 children, their father was a Mexican whose last name was Vidari, and they were part French, and they were light complected with blue eyes. So they told my aunt, we'll keep your 2 children, but those 3 have to go to the Mexican school. So my aunt told them, if you don't take my brother's kids, I'm not leaving my kids here. So she took us all home and to the farm, back to the farm, and told my dad. And after a while, my dad decided to see what he could do about it, and finally decided to find a lawyer that could kind of fight the case. And that's how it all began, on my family side. That's it. I'm not a very good speaker. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to be here today. I'm quite humbled to be asked by our Circuit Historical Society to speak on the significance and the legacy of Mendez versus Westminster. It is indeed an honor and a privilege to participate in an event commemorating such a significant turning point in our nation's social and legal history. The impact of the Ninth Circuit's decision in Mendez cannot be understated. It affected not only the lives of children in the Orange County school system at that time, but also the lives of every single child, student, and parent in California and across the United States from that point forward. As the precursor to the Supreme Court's historic decision in Brown versus Board of Education, Mendez was the first step toward a tremendous social, legal, and political shift. Separate is not equal.